Hey everyone, Jeff-McErlain here, and today I want to talk about 4 really cool variations on the theme to Sunshine of Your Love that Eric Clapton plays across some live gigs and of course the original studio recording. So let's check it out. This first version is, of course, the recorded version from Disraeli Gears that came out in 1967, and in my mind, really the precursor to heavy metal. So let's check out the original version. This next version I first heard here on YouTube when Cream was on the Glen Campbell show. It's a really cool version. I also love that Clapton is clearly not that loud, so it's really low gain, and when he plays this particular version of the riff, it really fills it up because he's using double stops. So let's see how effective that is and how cool it is. And now in this version, he uses that same descending line, but he harmonizes it a little differently. I first heard this on a bootleg that's live from Oakland, California. This final variation is something he's played throughout his whole career, but it was most notable to me on the Live at Royal Albert Hall from the Cream reunion tour. He's playing a Stratonet, not quite as thick and cool sounding to me as the original older versions we talked about, but still pretty darn cool. So let me show you the riff nice and slowly. So it's right down a D minor blues scale. So we have D, C, A flat, G. And I'm going to slide up, I use my third finger, slide up from C to D on the low string, Get my F right here with my first finger, and back down to the D. You want to get some nice vibrato on that F. Now the first time on the initial recording, if you want to get really nerdy, he does this. And doubles that low note. Once again. Next after that. Okay, now, there's a number of ways he plays this. I'm going to show you the one that's off of the recording as far as I can tell. Go to a D7 chord. But what I'm really kind of doing is not barring. This is what it sounds like to my ear. There's a bunch of variations. You can play it differently each time, but this sounds really cool to me. So I have my D, my A, I'm muting my fourth string, and my third finger is getting this F sharp. I get that sound. I could bar it. That sounds kind of big, but if I just play a D7 chord but don't bar, kind of really gives that thick, full sound, as opposed to, it sounds kind of full to me, right? A little too full. So, same lick. So he kind of slides in, nice sort of swagger on that. So I'm going to slide in to the G with my third finger, big vibrato on the F, and resolve to the D. Now Clapton uses that hand vibrato, which I find easier to do standing up. I'll show you what I mean. Where he's pulling the hand like this, as opposed to using the wrist. Really something I've stolen from Clapton. I don't have it exactly like him because that's his. But it's fun to work on. I love that sound. Right? Watch live at the Royal Albert Hall. Actually watch any of the versions of him playing it and you'll see him do that vibrato. So that's the main riff. Then we go to the G chord, which is our 4 chord. So you're going to play G, the 3-year-old full G bar chord to the F. So you're definitely hearing that third. A lot of people just play as a power chord. It's this. You definitely hear that third in there sometimes, which is a big part of the sound to me. Then I'm going to go down the same G minor blues scale. Basically the same riff, but towards the floor. So there I'm going to play D, D flat, C. I'm going to slide into this F to G, and then my B flat with my first finger, back down to F. So. Now the bridge is A, C, G, A. Again. Sometimes he does this. Then A. And back to the top. So the last thing I was doing there, when I played that C chord, sometimes I'd bar across and get the low G in the bass. 3, 4. Again. I'll do it this time. What I love about this version, the one he does on the Glen Campbell show, is you can tell he's not very overdriven on that. I'm assuming he couldn't turn up the amps very loud when filming that show. But what I like about that version is it really kind of fills things up a bit. So you see how it's slightly different, yet super, super cool. So let's check out that one. As opposed to even this. That. Okay, now when he goes to the 4 chord, the G chord, he's going to do the same exact line, but down here. But here he bars with the thumb over the top, plays a G triad, right, this is the idea. Right, so I'm going to play G, mute that 5th string, G, B, and D. And I'm not even sure he gets that low note, you're really hearing, then, same exact riff based upon the G chord, so. right? So here we have the chord G to F, and we have the D, G. Move this down, D flat, F, C, E. Right, and then we're going to grab that, slide into the G, E flat, back to the G. There's a slight variation on that, once again. And there, it's much like the intro of the original version, that he also mixes and matches with this. So here, that's going to be on the G, C, E flat, to G. Now variation number 2 is slightly different, and I heard this on the Winterland recording, bootleg, that I also believe is on the Farewell to Cream reissue. So check this one out. He does the intro the same as always. And then I like that one. So it's always the same line, right? So you're always having that same blue note rock down. So that's pretty cool. It's just something different. So we start off with the same lick. Then, so we have A and D, A flat and D, so the flat 5. And we have G and D, which is a G power chord. So pretty cool. So that's that variation. And this final variation is the one that he does on the Royal Albert Hall video of the Cream reunion tour. So it's the same lick all between, but here he's just playing the triad, D to C. So it's much lighter sounding because he's playing the Strat. I know I'm not playing a Strat, but it doesn't have that same thick low end that the earlier recordings do. So that's what he's doing there, and then he goes to the G. But you could also, once again, start to mix and match these any way that feels comfortable. Right? Why not do it there? Move it all around. So what do we do with all this? Well, if you end up playing Sunshine of Your Love on a gig, you can play some nice, really cool variations from the man himself. Also, I just love this stuff. I love seeing the inner workings of these tunes and the guitar tones and how he approaches music with anybody. You hear different versions of Hendrix tunes, or Jimmy Page or Eddie plays something a little differently. Or I love that stuff because it's those variations that give the song life. You know, you're not just playing it the exact way each time. Now, little gear-wise, I'm using my Les Paul, and I'm playing through my 1972 Marshall Super Lead, which is right behind me. Great amp, and I'm plugging it into the Universal Apollo aux into a greenback cabinet. I wish I could mic it, but you know, living in Brooklyn, I don't think I would be very popular if I did that. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's pretty nerdy, right? The inside workings of different variations of Eric Clapton playing over Sunshine of Your Love. But what I really love about it is it gave me some insight into the things that he might think about. How can I make this bigger sounding? How can I change it a little bit? But it also makes me feel like that Cream and Clapton were always thinking of ways to vary what they were doing to keep it more interesting, to keep it fun, and to keep the song lively, right? You're playing the same song every night. How can I play this a little differently and have some fun with it? So to me, that's the stuff I really, really love. If you like what you see in the channel, please subscribe, hit the like button, and please check out my website, Jeff-McErlain.com, and the links below for some background tracks, all my TrueFire courses, my course with Brett Papa, where I talk in detail about Eric Clapton and his playing circa 1967, 1968. Thanks so much for checking us out, and I'll see you soon.